and Rob Parker. Who did you trash this morning on Deadspin?
I trashed the New York Yankees, Chris, and with good reason, as you know. The horrible showing in the ALCS was ridiculous. I mean, you could replay that series 1,000 times, and to get 12 hits and strike out 50 times in a 4-game series is ridiculous. You didn't even show up for that. But I do want to say this, Chris. And I know we're going to talk about Aaron Judge. I do want to say this. I don't think the Yankees mistreated or disrespected Aaron Judge. I really don't. And, Chris, he might want to go elsewhere, do whatever he wants to do. I don't think the Yankees will be outbid, so they could offer him the same money. If he decides he still wants to go, then there's nothing you can do, okay? Right. But I don't think they disrespected him at all. He's an older player, right? We all talked about
30,
that.
right?
30 years old, Chris. He has a history of injury, except this year. He was not hurt, played the entire year.
Right.
And they offered him $213 million, right? Extension.
Yep.
And he had the right to turn it down. But I don't want people to act like, oh, well, the Yankees should have paid him before the season. Now they go, no. You know what? I think they offered him something that he had to think about, Chris, given his history of injury, given his age. When you look at the $300 million they're giving out to people, all those guys are in their 20s. They're not 30 years old.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tatis was 22 or 3, Chris.
No doubt about it.
Okay?
No doubt
all those guys in their 20s. Juan Soto, who they offered $440 million, Washington. He's 23, Chris.
Yep.
He's not 30. He's not 31.
Yep.
It's a big difference. So let's talk about Aaron Judge.
Well, first of all, I'm totally with you, Rob. They did not lowball Aaron Judge one iota. And you're right. He made the right decision to turn it down because he's going to get paid. But if I was in their position, I would have done the same thing. Dude, you haven't been healthy. I don't care if you hit like Babe Ruth and Rod Carew combined. If you're not on the field, it doesn't matter. And so they made him a solid offer for a guy that's always hurting, as you said, up in age, 29. I mean, to be getting your first big contract, that's up there. So I'm with you on that. But here's the story we want to address, Rob, and it's obviously related. There's a report that the Los Angeles Dodgers,
who have the highest payroll in the league, right?
Yes, are going to make a run at Aaron Judge. And they could move Mookie Betts, their superstar right fielder, to second base, where he used to play. And they put Judge in right field. So, Rob, do you think this is the way, you think it's a good move or bad move by the Dodgers?
Okay, so the Dodgers, they go get stars now, Chris. They were really cheap at one point. When their previous owner had them, was it McCord, was cheap. Didn't want to spend any money.
Right. And they got him out of there.
The Guggenheim, group with Magic and those people, Chris, nothing but money. They got that big TV deal with Spectrum. They got money to spend. It doesn't matter. So they can go out and offer. They paid Mookie a ton of money. They got Freddie Freeman from the Braves. They could get Aaron Judge.
They got stars upon stars upon stars.
Right. They have 4 former MVPs on their roster to start the season.
Unbelievable.
Nobody has that, Chris.
Right.
You know how hard it is to win an MVP? 4 former MVPs. So anyway, the question is, coming off that postseason, do you look at it and go, oh, it's just had a bad postseason, it doesn't matter? Because the Dodgers are about winning championships, right? It ain't about winning the division. They've won it 9 out of the last 10. So winning the division doesn't mean anything in LA. It's about winning a championship. And the other thing is, if you're Aaron Judge, and we bring it up all the time, Chris, and this is not him going to Seattle or some lesser market. Right. The Dodgers are big time. And I respect the Dodgers organization as much as any in sports history, Chris, because of Jackie Robinson. I just do. And I'm not saying that they were saints and they were like, we're going to change society. No. They were like, look at all these black people walking around Brooklyn.
Right.
How come I'm not selling
at the
tickets?
Negro League games. Yep.
I mean, I love that they put that in the movie. You know what I mean? That Branch Rickey wasn't some do-gooder. He's a businessman, Chris. How do I get the black people walking past Ebbets Field to come in?
I wish they had partnered with the Negro League instead, but that's another story. Another day.
Right. So, so I have respect for the Dodgers. But I don't know if you're Aaron Judge, do you really want to leave the Yankees, the pinstripe tradition, what he just did passing Babe Ruth and Roger Maris? Chris, you could talk about all the big franchises in this country. Dallas Cowboys, Montreal Canadiens, the Green Bay Packers,
Celtics.
The Lakers, the Celtics. The Yankees are up there wearing the pinstripes. They got to be at the top of the list. They've won 27 world championships, more than any other team in American sports history.
Right. Look, here's how I look at it first from the Dodgers standpoint. Like you said, they've got money to burn. If money were an issue, then if I'm running the Dodgers, I have no problem saying no, don't do this. But if money's not an issue at all, Rob, we know there's no salary cap in baseball.
Right.
And if they just, they got money to burn. So if they want to just spend the money, because it is a business, to go get probably the face of baseball right now. Certainly one of the, top 3?
Yep.
Him, Ohtani, and who? It's Aaron Judge right now. Bryce Harper, maybe. But I would go do it. What I will say is this, though, Rob. As great as Aaron Judge is, just because of the nature of the sport, I don't know that this is going to get you a World Series.
Right.
Right? You said it. 4 former MVPs. Like, the roster is stacked. What they lead, not only the hitting,
they won 100. Right.
They led the National League in runs. Were
run
up in the top 3 on batting average, run differential, ERA. Like, they had hitting and pitching and still didn't get it done.
Right.
So, don't think, go get him because it's a business, Rob. And if you get Aaron Judge, that's just one more superstar. Now you got Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, like full of superstars. The fans will love it. Everybody will want to see you play for 162 games.
And here's the other thing.
Will it lead to a championship? We don't know.
And he's from Northern California, Chris. He grew up as a Giants fan. You also take him away from your arch rival, right? If you're the Dodgers. We don't want him to go to the Dodgers. We'll take him.
Yeah, and so now let me say it. So that's my view from the Dodgers standpoint. Yeah, it makes you better. He's a great player. But I don't know that you're going to win a World Series with him or not, but it's business-wise, it makes sense, right, if you have the money. Rob, I don't know if it's because I'm in New York and I've been here now for, 25 years roughly. I think we've talked about baseball becoming more and more of a regional sport. I feel like the Yankees and the Red Sox, I'll give them, and the Dodgers, they're only a handful of maybe national teams, right? But none bigger. As big as the Dodgers are, Rob, they're not the Yankees.
No, I agree.
And
the Dodgers are big.
Yes, the Dodgers are huge. Whatever Aaron Judge does is going to be even bigger if he does it in New York. Now, I don't know if that matters to him. But
what do you think about the tradition part that I brought up? Like the names he passed.
It's huge. It's huge. When you play for the same franchise as Babe Ruth and you're the home run king for that team, there's nothing, Rob. And let's just keep it real. I mean, obviously the Yankees get tremendous coverage anyway, but ESPN is full of people from New York.
Yep.
If the Knicks were any good, they get major coverage.
We know that, right.
And so the Yankees, I mean, if Judge is doing it for the Yankees, it's going to be awesome. Now, he'll still get crazy attention with the Dodgers, but not as much. Am I wrong?
No.
I don't think he'll get as much.
Is the West Coast thing, Chris. Most of his games would start at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's just natural. You don't see all of the games, and it's not – like, Chris, when this show's over, it's 10 o'clock East. If you got to go to work or whatever, Dodger games start at 10. It's
Eastern. Hard to watch one of 162 when you got to get up for work early in the morning. So
I'm talking about, for the rest of the country.
Coast. Right, if you're on the East Coast. Right, most of the country. So, he's from the West Coast, Rob. Maybe that'll, and I'm not going to blame him if that plays a big factor. I get it. It could be largely a personal decision, Rob. He's going to get a boatload of money wherever he goes. If you're talking about the Dodgers, the Giants, or the Cardinals, I don't know, would they get involved? The Red Sox or the Yankees? I mean,
those are all big teams, right?
He ain't going to Seattle or Kansas City or, something like that. So he's probably going to be in a great market anyway. But Yankees hard to leave. Hard to leave the Yankees.
If they ante up the money, that's
right.
And I don't believe they
outbid them.
Right.
I think they could get outbid, Rob. I don't think they have. I don't think they have to get outbid, but I think this new mentality they seem to have is not to break the bank.
If George was alive, there was no way they'd be outbid.
No question.
Right? George Steinbrenner, for people who are younger, but he was an owner. Nobody would outbid him. It's just not possible.
People can say he was what he was, right? He was volatile and all that, but it led to winning.
Yep.
It led to win. And I get Rob, I don't think they'd be in this type of drought if he was still alive and running the team. So it's going to be interesting, but he's in a good position whichever way it goes.